My name's Tomas Young. I'm 28 years old and was shot and paralyzed, shot above the left collarbone and paralyzed from the chest down in Sadr City, Iraq. And if I had two questions for John McCain, one would be coming from one veteran to another. Well, actually, I do have three for John McCain. From one veteran to another, why he has consistently voted so poorly on veterans' health issues and benefits. But although I guess the answer to that would be he falls under the Senate health plan now instead of having to go to the VA. Another one was, why did it take a meeting and hearing Nancy Reagan's positions on stem cell research that took you so long to come about with your change of heart? Was it because the president you so try to compare yourself to so frequently died of something that could have been cured by embryonic stem cell research? Then we'd actually have his opinion to see who the most Reagan-esque president is. And number three would be, if President Nixon had announced during some of the heaviest fighting in Vietnam that we were going to stay there for 100 years, he might not be in a position to run for president. So if he announces the possibility, and I recognize that it's just a possibility of a 100-year occupation of Iraq, we want to get out there as soon as possible, how would he feel if he's possibly preventing the next Iraq-era John McCain from running for president on his war experience? And as far as Hillary Clinton, I would ask her to reconcile that 2002 vote for the war with her all of a sudden, or at least when it became politically expedient for her to be opposed to it, how she reconciles those two positions when preparing for a general election campaign that was so clearly decided in 2004 by the "I voted for the Iraq war before I was against it" of John McCain. And my second question for Hillary would also be my question for Barack Obama. But my first question for him would be, since everybody is writing you about not explaining your positions substantively enough and are just saying that you're getting by on empty rhetoric, explain some of those positions in more detail so that John McCain and Hillary Clinton can get off your back on your so-called empty rhetoric. And my second question for both of them would be, in what ways do they plan to unify an already pretty pro-life Republican base in the House and the Senate to better enact embryonic stem cell funding, or federal funding for embryonic stem cell research? Because not only for people in my position with paraplegia and things of that sort, but also for Parkinson's patients and any number of untold diseases and maladies we face today that could potentially be cured by using the stem cells from the 40,000 plus fetuses that will be discarded from fertility clinics at the end of this year.
If you had the chance to talk to whomever the next president is on their inauguration day, would there be one piece of advice that you would give them? Not necessarily a question that you would ask, but one thing that you would say that you've just been handed the most powerful job in the world.
I'd like to discuss with them how they are going to most responsibly and carefully, A, get my fellow brothers and sisters out of harm's way in a country they should not be in, because I realize you can't pull them all out in a vacuum without creating some operational security issues for the ones that'll have to be there to withdraw our assets, such as our tanks and everything else. And how are we going to best care for veterans in this new 4 to 8 year term? Because even though funding has increased incrementally over the past few years, we still have veterans from the Vietnam, World War II, and first Gulf War era that still need all the care that they can provide as well as the influx of soldiers from this war and occupation. And because we volunteered, nobody drafted us, we volunteered to serve a country that we love and a constitution that we would willingly defend to the death. And why is it that this country that we volunteered to defend, shows us the back door as far as veterans care in so many instances?